We're living in a time where we have so many great concepts, but that come with so many downfalls and toxic traits, and self-love is one of them. Self-love is taught to be gentle, loving, kind, sweet, and soft. But I'm here to tell you that if that's the only type of self-love you're showing yourself, then it only leads to self-sabotage in disguise. And this video is all about self-love, sometimes having to be tough and rough, and us understanding why it has to be that way, and us getting to a place where sometimes we need to show ourselves the tough side of self-love. Let's go! First things first, let's get this straight. Real love of any sort has a sense of toughness and roughness attached to it. Whether it's parenting, whether it's a partnership, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a relationship with God, every type of real love has a sense of roughness and toughness. And this notion that true real love needs to be glamorous and perfect and always romantic and kind and soft and all those things is false. So let's get that straightened out the way. And that also applies in this case to self-love. There is no true and real self-love without a sense of roughness and toughness, because otherwise that's just self-sabotage. It is not self-love. And I am not here to point fingers at you. I actually do a lot of these videos to point the finger at myself first. I've seen it with myself so many times where I take it a little bit easier because I'm being too rough on myself. I set my boundaries a little bit lower. I set my expectations a little bit lower. I take it a little bit more slow in a season that doesn't need me to do that. All for me to be showing myself self-love in the moment, but then it only leads to regret and self-sabotage in the future. Sometimes pushing yourself through a tough season, depriving yourself now for a greater gain later, and not bringing down your boundaries and your standards and your expectation is a form of self-love that doesn't feel good in the moment, but you will see the gains of that type of self-love in the future. This is a type of self-love that I started showing myself in varsity, but I realized lately in these seasons, and that's why I'm creating this video, that I've eased up on it a little bit, and it's leading to quite a lot of self-sabotage, a cycle of self-sabotage. I used to ask myself, what can you do for yourself today, even if it's hard, that the Gilda or Golden tomorrow will be so grateful that you did it? And sometimes that is the greatest form of self-love, you setting yourself up for greater happiness, greater freedom, greater comfort in the future than it is right now. All this is because sometimes the self-love that we are showing ourselves in the moment costs so much in the later future. I think most of us have probably been there where, oh, let me sleep just another hour. I've been working too hard. I deserve it. And you sleep that extra hour only for you to pay back for it in like 5 hours in return. That happens to me quite a lot of times, especially recently. And that's why I'm creating this video, just to remind us that sometimes self-love isn't always kind. Sometimes it's tough today so that I have the life that I want. I have the time to relax that I want tomorrow. So like I said, actual, real and true and good love that is good for you comes with a sense of toughness and roughness. Let us not get confused. I'm not saying you should stay in places where you should not stay, and if you know, you know, right? But I am saying even the greatest type of love, which is the love of God, comes with sometimes toughness and roughness. And we see this in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6, and it says, because the Lord disciplines those he loves and chastens everyone he accepts as his son. And then verse 7 goes on to say, endure hardship as discipline, right? So the Lord expects us to endure hardship as discipline, and he's disciplining us because he loves us. And then it goes on to say, God is treating you as his son. For what children are not disciplined by their father? So a sign of discipline, a sign of hardship, a sign of endurance is a sign of real, true love and care for yourself from God to us also is a sense of love and care. And if you're a parent, you also know this. You discipline your child because you love them and you thinking about their character, you're thinking about the type of person they need to be to endure this world, to endure the hardships in this world. And in the future, I'm raising a boy, so tough love does apply a lot every now and then, because he needs to become the type of man that can endure the hardships that the world is still about to bring into his life, right? So there is no type of love without the toughness and roughness, and this does not exclude the love that we show to ourselves. So if you are showing yourself the type of love recently that is kind, that is gentle, that is romanticized, that is glamorous, but excludes discipline, that excludes hardship, that excludes toughness, then you need to reevaluate, because that is not self-love, that is just self-sabotage in disguise. So maybe you're in the season in your life where you know you shouldn't be easing up, you know you should be tougher on yourself, you know you should be showing yourself a little bit of more rough love, but the world is telling you to ease up a little bit, the world is telling you to take it slow, the world is telling you to, lower your standards, lower your boundaries, lower your expectations. But if you know that this is a time and a season where you need to love yourself by being tough on yourself, then that's exactly what you should be doing. Endure, go through the hardship, discipline yourself, and that is the type of love. It is still love that you're showing yourself. As I was putting this down and journaling it or writing the script, I actually thought about the process that a butterfly goes through from being a caterpillar into becoming a butterfly. They have to go through that rough, ugly, tough season so that they can then blossom in the future. And them actually sitting in that process and going through that process is a type of self-love for themselves and self-love for their future self, which they will be so in love with, blossoming with all these colors. But if they lived in a world such as today that tells you that no, love needs to be easy and kind and gentle, and if it's feeling rough and hard, it's not actually love, then they would have stayed in that state of a caterpillar and have never seen who they actually would have been if they endured the hardship and they stayed disciplined in their season of transformation. They would never see themselves as that beautiful butterfly that they were meant to be at the end of the season. So show yourself some tough love this season if you need to, and if you need to take it slow, I'm giving you that eye. If you really need to take it slow, take it slow. But I'm here to encourage you and to remind myself that sometimes tough love is love. We've got this. Let's go. For now, it is ciao.